What's up, ladies and gentlemen of YouTube? Mr. Tom12304 here, bringing you Fairy Tail Chapter 293 review. The chapter is called The Perfume Dedicated to You. So, last week's chapter ended with the big build-up leading to the Fairy Tail versus Sabretooth showdown, which, naturally got people pretty excited. It had the cryptic picture of Acknowledgia at the end of it, but this one doesn't start with that at all. In fact, it starts with one of the other fights. Blue Pegasus, Ichiya and Rabbit, the rather elusive character that we don't know much about, and Quatro Puppies, Bacchus and Rocker. Now, I don't really have a lot to say because I didn't think this chapter was that good for the most part until we got towards the end. Because I didn't really care about this fight. I would much rather have seen the Kagura versus Leon fight that was skipped over towards the end. Being not much really happens. I don't really like the character of Ichiya, to be honest, which is probably one reason why I didn't like this that much. But Rabbit, we finally get to know his true identity, and it's actually Nichiya, Ichiya's, doppelganger from Extalia. And so he is Ichiya and a cat version of him. So it's, okay, it's quite. I mean, it's quite funny. Some of it's quite funny because the whole fight. Blue Pegasus just get completely destroyed for the most part. It's sort of a parody of itself. It's a parody of shonen cliches, like people falling down dramatically and being beaten around by the villains, and only for someone to pull it out at the last minute. And it's all done. It is all a self-parody. It is quite funny, and it's quite clever in that as well. It's all about self-sacrifice and friendship and all this pulling together. I mean, like, Ichiya even gives Nichiya a monologue. We don't know anything about them, so but that is what happens in these kind of shonen series. They do monologue just before the end of like a fight. And, but yeah, it ends with Ichiya saying he'll dedicate him a perfume called Victory, and he basically becomes all super muscly and beats the crap out of Bacchus and Rocker and wins the fight. But yeah, I didn't really, it was kind of funny, but I didn't really care about it too much. Unfortunately, it completely cuts out match 2, which is Lamia Scale versus Mermaid Heel, which I think a lot of people would agree would much rather see, which is Leon and Kagura, and it ends at the time limit of 30 minutes as a draw. And it is really cool because Kagura says that if it was a fight to the death, Miliana, her partner, would have been killed. So it was clearly a pretty ruthless fight, and unfortunately we just don't even get to see it. But then, we get to the best part of the chapter. Fairy Tail, Natsu and Gejeel come in to fight Sabretooth, Sting and Rogue. And, they say they've been waiting for this. But then we skip over to the sort of desolate, barren, volcanic wasteland that we've seen a couple of times before. And it's Igneel. And he's saying, Vice Logia and Skyadrum, the Dragon Slayers you've created, let's see what they're made of. So they're obviously Sting and Rogue's dragons that got killed by them. And for some reason Igneel wants humans to exceed dragons because he says, is it just an empty dream? Or maybe it's just the humans' empty dream. We don't really know much at this point. Igneel just says that it's the time for dragons to take action is drawing close, as the Dragon King Festival will soon be upon them. So that's kind of where the chapter ends. It then ends with a bit of with a face-off between Natsu, Gejeel, Sting, and Rogue. And so until next time, I mean, it wasn't a great chapter. It wasn't a horrific chapter at the same time. It was quite funny. The whole self-parody of shonen cliches was good. But I'd have much rather seen more of what we saw at the end than Ichiya versus Nichiya. Ichiya and Nichiya, sorry. So, yeah, I mean, what did you think of chapter 293? Did you think it was good? Did you not like it either? Were you a bit disappointed by most of the chapter focusing on that fight? So, yeah, until next time, see ya.